Hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here, and in today's video I want to talk to you about why we should ditch AI. Let's get started. Listen, about a year ago, or like just over a year ago, I posted a video on this channel talking about how I used ChatGPT for therapy purposes. I have since regretted making that decision, and I want to talk about this because I think that's the responsible thing to do. Now, first of all, I did use AI only one time for therapy purposes, and it was relatively quick. My problem was uncomplicated. I was inquiring specifically about some confusion about some of my friendships and how I felt about them, and basically I can't actually say that I needed validation necessarily, because I genuinely wanted to figure out if me feeling this way was normal, like if it was fair of me to expect more attention from my friends since I'm the person who has always aimed to be attentive and loving and all of that kind of stuff. Anyways, my problem was uncomplicated. It did not require too many questions. And deep down, I already knew the answer to the question that I was asking, okay? I'm not encouraging anybody to do this anymore because, I made this video before everybody started posting about using AI as therapy, and I have read people's arguments regarding whether or not it is ethical and okay and healthy and dangerous or not to use AI in order to get therapy. I read what some therapists said about that, and interestingly, some people were saying that it might be a good alternative if you cannot afford a therapist. But I just have to say that we really, really cannot outsource our life and our brain functionality and all of our cognitive decisions and every single step that we take, and the processes that are supposed to be happening in our brain, to AI. This is becoming really, really unfunny really, really quickly. Pretty much every single company is, if not using AI already, is trying to integrate AI in some way, shape, or form, which is, I think it's beyond the point where we should be concerned about this, because like we are already there. It's already happening. Like we should have been concerned a while back, right? Like it is completely valid. So everybody knows that like AI is bad, and that's kind of a very vague reasoning for why we should be ditching it. So I'm going to be giving you very, very specific, very concrete reasons, 5 reasons to be exact, of why you should ditch AI. If not completely and entirely, then why you should be moving away from AI and like really not relying on it, not depending on it at all, and using it very, very sparingly, if ever. Let's get started. I did take some notes, so I'm gonna be looking at them. Starting off strong. Reason number 1: over-reliance, forming dependence, and cognitive decline. Listen. Before I even start talking about this one, I gotta say that people usually stick to maybe like 1 or 2 reasonings why AI is bad, and I feel like I'm gonna give you 5 reasons, like I said before, and I truly believe we should be paying attention to all of these reasons, and I believe that all of these are very, very important, and we should keep them in mind. So yeah, let's talk about cognitive decline and over-reliance. So a lot of people are starting to depend on AI in very, very unhealthy ways. Like I find out about this through memes and jokes online. I understand that the people around me are acting more or less like me, so it is very, very, very unsettling to me to find out that people are using ChatGPT and other different AI tools as calculators, or they're using them to obviously we know, to like write essays and write work for university and for schools, and to like summarize books, and some people are having chats with AI. I gotta say that, like, not to be overly judgmental or anything like that, but if I find out that you have casual conversations with AI tools, I lose respect for you. I'm really sorry, but this is that is beyond ridiculous, and that is not okay for so many reasons. Yeah. I recently also saw a meme talking about how somebody waited for so long for AI to respond that they figured the answer to the question themselves. Dang, you use your own brain, huh? That's crazy. Listen, but all jokes aside, you stop thinking independently. Okay, you stop thinking independently, you start relying on AI tools overly so, and you start to lose your cognitive abilities and skills, such as problem solving skills and critical thinking skills, which is so incredibly important, especially today. This is not something that you gamble away. You don't play with your cognitive functions, you don't play with your brain. This is not something that you mess with, really. Like that is deeply not okay. And since AI is targeted towards honestly everybody. I can't even say that there's a specific age group that AI companies or companies using AI target specifically, because it is used by lots of young people. We know multiple cases of it being used by old people to cope with loss, with grief, and all of those things. It's incredibly concerning that we are trading our humanity and our brain functions for is that even convenience for the to avoid not experiencing uncomfortable feelings and emotions, and at this point to avoid feeling like our brains work. That is crazy. That's crazy, and that is very concerning. You should be concerned. That's a big one, and that's the first one. Okay, we're starting off strong. Like I said, this is really not funny, honestly. Like, we completely outsource mental effort when we form a dependence on AI tools. Not okay. All right. Reason number 2, environmental impact. I hear a lot of people talking about environmental impact, and for a good reason, because training AI and AI data centers, which the number of those keeps growing, and all of those things require enormous amounts of resources that we could be using for people, for animals, for other companies, for other normal things that we used to have and still do have, by the way. So that is completely understandable why people are concerned about this, because it is a big issue. And I think that it is ridiculous to waste away so many resources because you couldn't be bothered to use a search engine, to do a little Google, and maybe to use a calculator. Like, you can Google many things. I think we're forgetting that there are many, many, many different websites and resources that we still have access to that are not that difficult to find. Unbelievable. That is a big concern. Reason number 3 is data, privacy, and security risks. Training AI sometimes, allegedly, requires the use and storage of your personal data. And this is not something to be messed with, because nobody's asking for your consent, nobody's asking for your approval. All of those things are done very covertly, so nobody's asking for your explicit consent. And even though we have been living in the age of internet and social media for so many years, at this point there's still a very, very little understanding of the legalities of the situation and the privacy concerns. Like, we should be more concerned than we are. If you are concerned, you should probably be more concerned, but you are on the right path. So we have already heard about multiple data breaches and the use of AI and like the data leaks and stuff, and also AI being used to scam people. So the scammers are getting a lot more intricate, and we are getting deep fakes. We're getting people faking voices of your relatives and their faces, identity theft. That is really deeply concerning. And I'm not saying that if you stop using AI, those things are going to disappear, but you have to bring your attention to these things. You have to become very aware of that because unfortunately, that is not going away anytime soon. And I mean, the more we use AI, the more incentives those companies have to keep investing in them. Not really, actually, but because nobody's asking us, but ditch AI. Number 4, ethical issues and concerns. You've probably heard the fact that AI tools are trained on works and on art of other people, and it's completely unauthorized. And nobody's asking for people's consent, for the artist's consent and the author's consent. People's life works are being used to train AI. That is, I, listen, I don't even know how to, I don't, I genuinely don't even know how to feel about this and how to talk about this, how to express all of the different emotions that I feel about this. As somebody who was a student for so many years, I have to say that, you go through so many trainings and so you are taught so much about the importance of quotations, citations, referencing. Like referencing is a huge topic in research, and as a student, as a researcher, you learn these things constantly. You're constantly reminded about those things, how it's important to not steal anyone's intellectual work and not reference it and not cite what needs to be cited. That is a huge problem. And the fact that it used to be treated so incredibly seriously, I have no idea if it's still treated seriously at universities, I'm assuming so, but the fact that large companies get away with not having any ethical, moral concerns like this at all, or any legal concerns even, allegedly. Oh, duh. I am I'm deeply not okay with that. Yeah. Number 5, economic issues. Not that we didn't know about that one also, but again, AI is replacing a lot of people in tech jobs, and AI is replacing a lot of people in art. Of course, AI is replacing lots of people who would be taking junior positions, so it's making it even harder for graduates to find a job. As if it was easy before, but now it's getting even harder to do so. And again, I'd like to focus a little bit harder on the arts element as well, of course. The people who used to employ artists, designers of any kind, are using AI now at this point. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we're getting AI commercials from large companies. I won't be giving any examples too, because I'm sure you've seen plenty of those. But that is showing such incredible lack of effort, and it's so lazy, and it's so uninspiring, and it's so stupid and ridiculous. I think it's beyond the fact that it's concerning, it's also incredibly insulting. But yeah, there we have that. Now, these are the main 5 reasons why you should ditch AI, or at least why you should start using AI significantly less if you relied on it a little bit too much before. But beyond that fact, I want to encourage you to start using your brain a little bit more. Oh, a lot more actually. I want to encourage you to use your own brain, as a form of resistance to all of this insanity happening in the world. And I believe it's incredibly important to not outsource your mental abilities and your efforts, and to not lose your ability to think independently. And if anything, keep practicing and keep training yourself in order to become better at those things. Keep training those skills. Independent thinking, critical thinking skills especially, are incredibly important. Independent thinking is what you should be focusing on, to be honest with you. In order to do that, what is it that you can do? Not that you don't know about this, but I want to make separate videos about this, because I want to talk about this more in depth separately. But read books. I strongly recommend that you read books. If you have children, please ensure that they have a reading practice, a daily reading practice, reading books of different kinds, reading fiction, reading nonfiction. And when it comes to yourself, challenge yourself. You can read articles, you can read challenging materials to exercise your brain. It's not a bad idea to create a curriculum for yourself in order to keep yourself sharp, keep learning new skills. Again, I'll talk about those things separately, but I do want to encourage you to read real books. You honestly cannot go wrong with that. Try reading different genres that you never read before. Also, whenever you read the news, do ask yourself questions. Don't believe anything blindly. That's, again, almost seems like a different topic a little bit as well. But do practice independent thinking and your critical thinking skills. So anyways, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, because I think it's an important topic for us to talk about and to not kind of let it slide, and not to normalize this, I guess, not to just give up and accept the fact that AI is staying with us and we're supposed to just eat it, basically. I don't believe in that. I think that we can resist it and we can still use our own brains and, resist the ridiculous changes that are being forced upon us. So there is that. Anyways, you guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more good information about self-development, self-improvement, about your brain, and about beauty, of course. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one.